What's going on? Why aren't you coming in?
I'm scared.
Why? What happened?
It's too painful to tell.
Oh, Maya. It'll be okay. Here, grab my hand. I got you. It's okay, Mama. Take your time. I'm here for you.
Okay.
You know, it's times like these where I appreciate my past, the good and the bad, so I can provide things for my future self to laugh at and see where I did wrong in life. I'm almost 21, so I want to keep a record of things in my life before everything auto-deletes and I end up pulling a dory every time I meet someone or try to remember something. So, to prevent that from happening, here is a part 2 of me being a pretty bad and pretty weird kid. Hope you enjoy. People often tell me that the most memorable thing for me is my face. Moreover, the faces I make during any given situation. Even when I was just a young, freshly popped out of the womb, little baby child, my prominent features has always been my resting face. Or even just a stank face for things I needed emotion for. Even today, I still get questions on why my face looks like that. Or if I'm okay. Or if I'm gonna murder somebody soon. And honestly, the most I can tell you is that I'm just thinking and processing half the time. Cause when I really try and focus, I supposedly look like John Wick trying to avenge his dog's death. Some examples of me being in my resting face while doing things were putting Monopoly pieces into electrical sockets to see the outcomes, touch things after being told not to do so, and saying that I wasn't gonna do it when I clearly was, and I would even cut my hair in class or pull it when I was at home in front of my family. Probably got a few phone calls from the school and some weird stares, but to me, I was just a curious kid wanting to see the outcome. The farthest my memory can go is when my uncle came to visit my family when I was close to being a year old. He was always close to the family, and had visited when he wasn't at school, just being a chill dude making up beats and rhymes on his free time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, he was a little scary, because he stood out about a cool 6'3" at the age of 15, and me, being about 1.5 feet tall, saw this man towering me from all angles. So you can understand my confusion when looking at the tallest tree in the world, and wondering why he was talking, moving, and motioning towards me. As he's trying to pick me up, I hesitate on that action, and gyrated in a fashion only FNAF animatronics do so, cause I'm still confused on who this man is. Object permanency hasn't settled in yet, but after a while, I get picked up, still having my guard up, and look down to see me up in the clouds with this beanstalk. To try and ease my crumpled face, he tries to throw me up in the air to make me laugh, so I wouldn't look like I ate sour candy all day. But as fate would have it, his genetics played a part, and I was way too close to the ceiling fan, and as he proceeded to throw me up, everyone gets up as he immediately grabs me, holding me for dear life. He says he's sorry multiple times as he hesitates to see me. As he slowly looks, everyone questions as I look at him with the exact same expressions on my face. No emotion, just pure confusion on what turn of events had just unraveled. And sadly, this was an every time thing. Not the fan part, but him coming over and me analyzing the situation until I got an all clear from my conscience. Eventually, I warmed up to him, and soon enough, I made him my personal jungle gym with his height. It was all fun for the most part, but I'm telling you right now, I feel as though a big portion of my motor skills went down because of that excursion. One hit and I was extreme smooth brain for the rest of my life. And to vouch for that statement, let's take a trip to memory lane as I share how I used to steal from my old primary church. I was around 8 or 9 at the time, and normally I would stay with my family on the adult side, but they had introduced me and my uncle to the kids zone. And although I was hesitant at first, it was honestly pretty cool. The decorations were nice, the lighting was cool, the kids were friendly, and I felt okay there. The only thing was that the seating arrangements had the girls and boys separated. But we didn't necessarily care about that, so we just took our turns on what side we wanted to sit on each Sunday. And as we eased up to the place, I noticed that the kids had gotten prizes for doing things up on the stage they had, like reciting verses, acting out scenes because they had theater props, and doing quizzes and so on. We were lucky enough to participate and get our own prizes, but I wanted more. I noticed that the kids would leave their toys under their seats, and others had forgotten that they even had them in the first place and left without them. So I took it upon myself to become their new owner and take them home with me. I wasn't always successful though. I would get caught, sometimes I wouldn't know where to put them, and moreover, my uncle would be the voice of reason in these situations. He was the Darwin to my gumball in most cases, and sometimes I'd take his advice, and other times I did it straight into his face and pretended like nothing happened. Until he would snitch on me in the car. Couldn't trust my own family to back me up. Ain't that something? But speaking of trust, back at the church, I had also noticed that in each service, they would bring around this basket that was filled with money and ring it around us. And also had a box in the middle of the room filled with money. I was confused as to why there would be money around each service, but then it hit me. Free money at church? They have to be giving it out to us. Wow, isn't the man upstairs good? And here I thought we were just learning a bunch of mumbo-jumbo with no reward. So, every so often, as the basket was being passed around, and the money in the middle of the room was there, I would take from the basket and the box, not questioning it at all, when in reality, it was me not knowing that it was the offering box for the church. No one ever stopped me, and I never got caught. Just got up, grabbed, and sat down. But these actions have consequences, and this sadly led to me stealing from my family after a while, thinking that any dollar I saw was free money, until eventually I got caught by my grandma and had to give the 20s and 10s back to my family. Even my uncle. Sad moment for mini-me, but it did show me the power of honesty. When I wanted it to. Back in Arizona, when I was around 6, I remember being this very sneaky and jailbreak type child. I would hide in small places until I would jump out and scare my grandparents. I would sneak into their room and watch them quietly until they saw me with my big bug eyes looking at them. On multiple occasions where after I took a shower, I would dart out the doors out into the streets butt naked yelling, "Come catch me!" as my grandma is yelling for me to get back inside the house. Supposedly, the whole neighborhood had known me after a couple tries with this, and my grandma got really embarrassed trying to tame this wild child. A good instance of me being sneaky and observative is when she flown my cousins and I to Canada. No fart scandals this time. We were a little older and more mature. Most of us, at least. We were a couple days into the stay when we had to get ready to do a picketing to raise money for a used car my grandma's friend was scammed into. As the whole house was getting ready, I was one of the first ones to be done. And so was AJ. Thus, the shenanigans strike again as his creative brain was flooding with ideas. So, we settled upon the idea of playing hide and seek. We went to the second floor under the friend's daughter's bed and waited for a while. Trying to contain our laughter, our grandma was starting to ask where we were, and soon the whole house was looking for us. AJ moved to a different spot after he noticed that he was more exposed under the bed. But as soon as he moved, he was spotted, and had to help everyone get ready by putting the drinks and snacks into the car so we wouldn't die of starvation or heat stroke. It was just me now, under the bed. Taking this game a little bit too far when I realized since I was smaller than everyone, I could have easily hide from people. Everybody passed the room at least 3 times, looking under the bed but not really noticing me. After a while, I got tired of hiding and went downstairs. I announced my arrival and thought everything was fine, until my grandma scolded me saying how worried sick she was and where I was at. I explained to her that I was just playing a game and that I didn't understand why she was upset, but she put me in timeout regardless whether or not it was a game. And for my punishment, she locked me in a room and gave me a bin of Barbie dolls and told me to brush their hair until we left. A very weird punishment to say the least, but unknowing to her, the TV was on, and it was showing Arthur. So I sat there, brushing the doll's hair and laughing until we had to leave. And when we did, I was still in timeout, only able to sit in the hot sun, drinking water, and eat a family-sized bag of barbecue chips for the rest of the afternoon. So in the end, it wasn't a bad punishment at all.